I'm now speaking with Wayne Township Trustee Richard Stevenson. Rick, I appreciate your taking time out and coming over here and talking with me here. You know, over here at the Urban League, we just recently instituted a new program where we had an election here. And it was called the election for the mayor of the Fort Wayne Urban League, where what it boiled down to was two guys ran for mayor, two, I think, seventh graders, and one of them won. And so now he's the mayor of the Urban League. But the reason I wanted to bring it up to you is, why is that important for kids to be involved in mock-up elections and receiving symbolic titles and things like that? What does that do for them?
It does a lot of things for them, and it does a lot of things for the community, because one thing that's lacking in the community here in Fort Wayne and in a lot of urban communities, and that's the lack of political awareness. And these young people are getting it at a young age, and they're getting involved in it, and they're learning what it's all about. I was excited when I first heard that, because one of the things that we failed to do as a minority group, and that is to empower younger people to get involved with the political process. And so I'm hoping that maybe one of those two men, if not both of them, continue to learn and to be more part of the community, and maybe one day they might be mayor, or they might be the Wayne Township trustee, or they might be councilman, just because their early involvement and awareness in the political process.
And not only that, they were voted on by kids K through 5. And honest to God, the kindergarten, first and second graders, they were asking us exact same questions as adults would be asking. Why should I vote for him? They had questions. And does the same thing hold true for them too? I mean, shouldn't this be in their memory banks too? The first time they ever voted was at the Fort Wayne Urban League?
Most certainly it will. I can remember myself going back many years ago and trying to make myself that type of person that would be able to be a candidate. And these young folks, whether they're in the 5th grade or younger and so forth, they will also remember their first involvement in politics and how they voted and supported one of their friends. And that friend had to present himself in a manner that he knew that he could represent his peer group and do it well, and it had to be a listener of all his qualities. He had to learn to listen what's best for the people.
And one more thing on that, and I'm gonna go back to something else that you just said here, is not only did we have the election, but we also had a primary where each candidate got a chance to present their case to the kids, and these kids came back slamming hard at them. I mean, there are a lot of insults involved in a lot of things, but that's the exact same thing as, you all get insults, right? And you have to handle it and keep on moving.
Most certainly. That's one of the prime things that you must do. You got to be aware that we all are not on the same page, and you have to learn how to deal with every facet there is. Some are highly educated, some are barely educated, but most are always opinionated. And if you can deal with that, you're best that you're going to be successful. And we must always remember that we have a responsibility to do the right thing after gathering all the information, and then do the best thing for the majority of the people.
Now, a moment ago, you mentioned, your when you first became interested in maybe seeking for political office. When and how did you become interested in the political process, and about how old were you?
Well, actually, I guess it's always been a part of me at a young age, just like you were talking about these 5th graders and younger or so forth. They were presenting themselves in a positive manner, and you have to go way back in time to prepare yourself so that you're not involved in things that will come back and haunt you. And so as a very young age, I was always listening and helping people resolve issues in their life.
And also keeping yourself out of trouble.
Yes.
All right, when you have that type of a scenario of, well, let me say it this way. Here in the area around, in the whole inner city, there was not a big voter turnout. What else can we do to get to make sure that people get out and vote? I mean, is this the only way to instill kindergarten students? Is that where you got to start, or how do you get these folks to go out and vote so that they can elect the candidates who are best suited to serve them?
I think that's the first thing you have to do. You have to reach out to the young people and try to educate them, and then you come on up to the masses, and remembering that you must have something, a magnet, to attract them to come out. Just singing a song will not do it, but you have to have something to educate them, to give them a reason to participate, and they will.
And one more thing I want to ask you about is not only did we talk with them about the voting aspect, but I had a chance to talk with a whole lot of these students. I spoke with about 35 students, asking them about their career ambitions and what they would do to make Fort Wayne or America better. And surprisingly, they had very thought out answers when people were telling me that these kids don't know what they want to be, and they don't have any views on issues. Even though a kid, let's say, might not have a view on something, why is it important to pose questions to them to make their wheels start turning? Because once you see these kids on video and the sincerity and honesty as they're processing my question is beautiful.
I think that is the highlights of everything, is to get people involved. And these young people, they hear so many negative things, and then they get to express what they would like to do, what they would like to become. And then it reminds them, in order to become that, I must be conscious of the fact that I have to live productive lives now in order to be what I would like to be: a police officer, a judge, a mayor, or a politician of some sort. I have to have positive things in my life. And so, yes, there's some obstacles in front of me, but I can do this.
As we close down here, what kind of message you want to leave across Fort Wayne on this same note about younger people? I mean, I know you don't have anything prepared, but I'm just curious because, here in Fort Wayne, we never see anybody give an address. It's the end of the year, and we're going to look back on this year, and as we go into a new year, that is never done. But if that could happen, what would you want to say to these people?
What I would like to say, and it's a foremost part of me, and that is, we all try to think of what is the legacy of Rick Stevenson is going to be. What is your legacy? And I would like to make an input that will guide some young person into being a productive citizen. And I think the best way to do that is through education. I'm just amazed at the effort that the Fort Wayne Community School is trying to turn around their education purposes, and what this organization is doing with its academy. It's trying to empower the people, and education will be the civil rights issue of today. And we must get our young people involved in it and prepare them for a future. And education is the thing that will do it. And that's what I'm so involved in. Each year, we have started 3 years ago with the RAS scholarship. And that's trying to get young people involved in turning around their negative grades into positive grades, being the best that they can be so they can make a better America.
Oh, and I want to ask a question. One more theory that we're imposing here is that when you have, all these students are doing well and that type of a thing, but we're making sure that they in turn teach a younger one, their timetables, their addition tables, what have you, and so that we instill in them not only that, but I've been trying to get some of the kids together who have been in a fight so that I can ask them, you guys are friends now, what led to your fight, and how did you become friends, and why you're friends today, so that we can have a chapter on conflict resolution between them.
I think that's so important, and you find that there's more things that young people have in common than not. And many times they get to fighting just because that's the only thing that they know. And if they're instructed in more and they share more in the education things, they'll find that they can be best of friends. I'm involved with a couple of young people, and we treat them on a one-to-one basis. One young person is about 6 years old, and right now, as a result of our efforts, he can speak Spanish. Can count at least into 20 or so forth, but initially he couldn't do anything. Another young man, he's doing well. We're getting him to be more productive in his grades. It's all about being the best that you can be, and that's what they find out, that if they can be the best they can be, the friends that they were often fighting with, they're studying with, and then they become better friends.
And that's what they said. So thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.